I swear I am going to end it all. What the hell? What the hell? Every time. Every time. Let me skip this ad, please. Please let me skip this ad. Please. Junior, you're in the way. Welcome in. I apologize for the interesting start to stream again. This freaking ad, I am gonna crash out. Anyways, Kolshi, every time I open Mix It Up, you're already in chat. But congrats on first. Welcome in, Kolshi. Welcome in, Fire. Why are you looking? It just shows me who's in there whenever I open Mix It Up. No crash outs. No promises. Welcome in, everyone. How are you all today? Hopefully we don't have any more birth control ads. Fingers crossed. Junior he's being a little crazy today as well, so hopefully he quiets down a little bit. Yeah, I'm looking at you, June. I'm looking at you. You're looking crazy today. Yeah. Less crash outs is more calm. Yeah, he's wanting to be on the counter. Junior, please, you knocked over the water yesterday. I can't have you knocking anything over. Here, come here, sir. Hang out on the floor. Yeah, hang out on the floor. Okay, I am very excited for the game today. I'm very excited. Okay, let me go ahead. I'm gonna adjust the volume. Actually, no, I want it to be a little louder. I'm gonna leave the music playing for a minute because it's a vibe. I like it. It's a new playlist I'm working on, so I'm just listening to it to try and, like, I don't know, figure out if I want the songs to actually be on there. Our Life. That's what we're playing. We're playing that. If it'll load here. Come on, game. Load. Okay. I have the game loaded. Let me switch the screen over. Okay. Which one to do today? Civ, welcome in. Welcome in, Civ. You always forget to check in, that's okay. You're munching on some tasty apples? Ooh, sounds fun. Sounds very tasty. Flip a coin between reflection and late shift. Okay. Okay. Lucky for me, I have a bag of coins right here. So I'm going to literally flip a coin. Better than yesterday? Oh, 59%. I was prepared. It's just on my desk from last time. I haven't moved it yet somehow. 60%? That's not bad. You're a little bit higher than Fire. Where am I at today? 74. Ooh, that's pretty good. Junior, what are you doing, sir? There's a package of printer paper that I need to put away, and Junior is laying on it. He looks very cute. Okay, let's see. Oh, I didn't even decide. So let's see, between reflection and late shift. Heads will be reflection, tails will be late shift. Heads it is. Okay. So we're going, wow, Civ. That's pretty good. Civ is the highest so far today. Civ is having a great day. If you missed it earlier, Civ was live. Literally, I was cooking in my kitchen and then my phone just said like, Civ went live. I'm like, what? What do you mean Civ went live? So I was trying to cook. So I ran to my room, turned on my PC, joined on my phone while everything was loading. It was very crazy. I'm like, I need to get in there right now. Okay, but we're gonna do reflection. Oh, it starts in Cove's room. I did too much? No, no such thing. I'm really liking his room. I love his fish tank. I want a fish tank like that. When I move, I'm either getting a hamster or a fish tank like that. You had to rewind for a double take. Yes. I'm like, why am I in Cove's room already? Oh God, last time we were in here was the scene. Oh no. You're waiting. What? You sent me a friend request? Yes. Let me pull this up here. Let's see. Have I got a friend request? Pending invites. Ah! There you go. There you go. We are now friends on Steam. You think that me saying yesterday about needing Civ's emotes? Yes. And now I have the emotes. Okay, what is going on with my freaking thing? Let me get this pulled up here. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. There we go. My favorite emote. You've been working on making sure everything was functioning mostly normal for the last week? Ah. Yes. Oh my gosh. I adore that emote. Trooper, welcome in. How are you? We're sitting here obsessing over Civ's emotes instead of playing the game. Kolshi, oh my gosh. Kolshi, you still gotta use that emote so I can send you spaghetti. That one is also very cute as well, Fire. Junior, sir. Did you all hear him? He just like howled. Crazy. Sir, what are you doing? Okay. After finishing breakfast at the Holden's house, you and Cove had retreated to his room to relax before starting the day in earnest, or perhaps he would take it easy for the whole afternoon. Neither of you had plans exactly, so you were free to do whatever came to mind. Let's see. Oh. Okay, if I get the chance to mess with his hair, I'm gonna mess with his hair. What can I say? You ran your fingers through the short strands, flipping them between your fingers as if you were a hairstylist assessing a new look. Really though, you just liked the way the bristles tickled your fingers. Even with your mind elsewhere, you could tell Cove was similarly at ease. He had his chin propped up with one hand as he scrolled through his phone. Junior, you're on the desk now, sir. Sir, please. Okay. A burst of laughter broke the silence, hooking your attention and bringing you back to the present. You looked at Cove for an explanation. His eyes, now crinkled with mirth, were still locked on his screen. What happened? He finally looked up at you, smirking. Dad scanned some old photos. You know, He drew a rectangle in the air with the phone freehand. Printed out ones back from when I was little. He texted it to me last night. I guess I've been checking them out. I need to see Baby Cove. Oh my gosh, I need to see. Cove narrowed his eyes, smile still bent. I was gonna show you. I just wanted to look at it first to make sure there was nothing super embarrassing. You never know with my dad. He grimaced, envisioning what horrors his dad might unwittingly spring on him. I mean, what if there's a photo of me getting potty trained or something? Okay, but there probably is. Hold up. Why am I getting a notification? What just popped up on my Steam here? Civ! Civ, what did you do? Oh my gosh, thank you, Civ. Civ just sent me Pal World. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that, Civ. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna play that later. Thank you. You did not need to do that. Let's see. Kid pictures are supposed to be embarrassing. That's part of the fun. He was holding out on you, but your protest was of no use. The Gooner Gang must have Pal World. I am very excited. I will be playing that later for sure. Cove only cleared his throat nervously, the fear of his dad's well-meaning actions still looming large in his mind. Anyway, before we forget, I was laughing because I came across a Halloween one from when I was 8. The year I was a zombie, remember? Oh my gosh, I want to see Cove as a zombie. Zombie Cove. He shook his head, grinning wryly while holding the phone out to you. That is adorable. I never even liked zombies. All I wanted was to show off my new scar, and it needed to be something scary. I couldn't be a normal person who had a scar, according to my 8-year-old mind. Look at him! I was a little dork. Dad really wanted to be useful as usual. He came up with the idea of being an undead person. It was pretty good, huh? Let's see. I remember you getting lots of extra candy when adults realized the scar was real. You believe you've appeased the Wi-Fi beast? Are you having issues? It must have been your greatest Halloween haul ever. Cove chuckled at your reply. I can't believe how much larger my scar used to be. He looked down at his arm, a soft smile on his face, and traced what remained of the jagged line with his fingers, just as you'd seen him do countless times before. His voice was playful when he spoke again. Look at how tiny it is now. How am I gonna pretend to be tough without a big scar? I like his scar. Cove smiled bashfully, pleased with his joke, and ducked his head to look away from you. His fingers were still tracing the scarred patch of skin. You were, but it's good now? Okay. I really do like having this, even if it is kind of little these days. But it's so cute! His voice was shy, like he was letting you in on a big secret. Cove turned back to face you fully, finally letting go of his scar. He was happy. That mark was a part of him and clearly held meaning for Cove. I'm just gonna touch it. You cupped his arm with your fingers carefully as your thumb ran down the outline of his scar. Along with the rougher tissue of the scar, you could also feel goosebumps on his arm. I'm just gonna touch him. It's fine. It's fine. He's blushing. Haha. Cove let out a choked breath, a dizzied smile playing out on his face. It was evident that he liked the feeling. Oh my god, I can kiss the scar! Your hold shifted so you could bring his forearm to your face. Cove quietly gasped when he realized what you were doing. You tenderly kissed the old wound that marked him. What do you mean? Cove squeaked at the feeling of your lips on him and in that spot in particular, but his expression was overwhelmingly one of adoration. Oh gosh. Why is it not working? Oh, I think it's add quote. Is it? Oh no, I did it. Okay. Oh, it's okay. There we go. Now it's working. Cove couldn't stay still and reached for you himself with his free hand, his fingers brushing against your cheek. It's not birds anymore, it's balloons. Yes, yes it is. He leaned forward, eyes gleaming. You automatically began to match his movement, pulling nearer to him. His cheeks burned red as he closed the gap between you, his mouth gently meeting yours. Is this gonna be bed scene number 2? I can't do this. You held onto his arm like a lifeline as you kissed him back, briefly worried that you might drown in the depths of your feelings. Then you opened your eyes, meeting Cove's, and you knew that the feeling was mutual. He laid his forehead to rest against yours. You felt his hot breath tickling your face. Heads touching, your hand on his arm, you were entwined with Cove. It felt so right. Time couldn't register in that moment. It could have been seconds or minutes, but eventually you straightened up, lifting your hand from his scar. That seemed to break the spell. Though he stayed close to you, Cove sat up and came to his senses. Okay. I think we're past it. Your eyes drifted back to the scar on Cove's arm. Yeah. The scar had been there as long as you'd known Cove, though when you'd first met, it had been concealed by that neon pink cast. There's not another till step 4? Okay. So? Do you want to hear how it happened, how I was hurt? You were initially stunned that he'd guessed what you were thinking, though given the topic of conversation and the direction of your gaze, it was a natural conclusion to reach. Not bothered by your reaction, Cove continued with a shrug. I don't mind telling you, it's nothing special. He rubbed the back of his neck, grinning sheepishly. Mostly, it's just really dumb. You nodded. That was something you'd like to hear more about, especially knowing that no lasting harm had come of it. Cove stared into the distance, lips parted as he readied the story in his mind. So me, my dad, and my mom were at a party. I don't know if it was a casual get-together or a specific celebration. I hope it wasn't for something meaningful considering how I ended it. He winced, then managed a bashful smile. Anyways, my mom and dad were off doing stuff, talking to people, I guess. I was left with the other non-adults. Most of them were older than I was, maybe all of them were. His brow furrowed as he tried to recall dusty memories, then he shrugged again and continued. The older kids were taking turns on the jet skis. There weren't enough for everyone to ride at once, so in between turns, they were hanging out on the shore. I was meant to just sit there with them and watch. Remembering when you'd first met Cove, you bet that he hadn't been satisfied with that arrangement. He confirmed that suspicion. I was pretty unhappy. It wasn't a party for me, not when all I could do was look at other people have fun when I couldn't. The teens must have realized that, though I never hid when I was pouting as a kid. Well, basically, someone offered to let me ride. I was way too small to drive it myself, but this older kid, they must have been at least 16, said I could sit in front of them while they controlled the jet ski. He chuckled at your wide-eyed horror. I knew I wasn't supposed to do anything like that, still I figured my parents were doing whatever they wanted, so why couldn't I? I nodded at the person, and I remembered the other teens helping me onto the jet ski, along with the one driving. We sped off into the water. Cove smiled widely and wistfully. Because you're 8, Cove. Yes. It was amazing at first. My hair was flying everywhere as we zoomed away from the shore. I loved being out on the water like that. Too bad it turned out steering a jet ski with an 8-year-old sat on your lap was harder than a bunch of kids figured it would be. The teen tried their best, but they couldn't keep control for long. We got spun around and went right into the sand. You sucked in a deep breath. The other person wasn't hurt. Thankfully, they held onto the bars and stayed in their seat. I didn't. I was thrown at full speed into a rocky part of the shore near the dock. I must have tried to brace for impact or catch myself because my arm is what I mostly landed on. Oh my gosh. Cove, what the heck? He looked down at the limb in question. You could see him visualizing the long-healed injury. It was pretty torn up. After that, it's hazy for me. I got taken to the hospital. I didn't feel a lot of pain when it first happened. All I remember thinking about was how I was covered in sand and the grains were uncomfortable. The sand was uncomfortable? Cove chuckled. I know, right? I did start feeling my arm later. It definitely hurt eventually. Crashes are no fun. You broke your wrist falling while roller skating. Oh no! The doctor said my arm was broken along with being torn open. That's how I ended up getting my pink cast. He smiled nostalgically. That color, it seemed just nice and happy at the time. It brightened the mood, so I picked it. The smile faded. He finished the story with a sigh, his eyes downcast. I feel bad I did any of that. I hope whoever that teen was, they weren't traumatized by seeing a little kid go flying into the ground. They were just trying to do a nice thing. Cove threw arms out to the side dramatically. I wish I knew who they were so I could give them a call and say I'm still in one piece. But yeah, that's the full story. I'm so glad you were both okay. That's the important thing. Cove sighed again, the regret written plainly on his face. It was a failure, that's just the truth. He smiled flatly. But to my credit, I think I've grown a lot since then. Wait. You got a bright pink cast? Oh my gosh, are you Cove Fire? Fire is secretly Cove. Cove's eyes went completely wide. Suddenly reinvigorated, he seized his phone and tapped away at the screen. What? I knew it. You weren't sure that he'd heard you, but he set his phone down and turned to face directly to you. His face was resolute. Though the glow of the screen was no longer reflected in his eyes, they seemed to sparkle even brighter than before. Jinx, we're adults. We can decide things for ourselves now. Where's this going? The age requirement to rent a jet ski in California is 18. We could totally do it. Cove, what? Welcome in, Yara. How are you today? Not Cove, different injury mechanism. Okay. Thank you for the hydrate. Thank you. Sorry, I'm choking on that there. Let me try that again. I choked on water. Cough, cough. Let's use our adult powers for a jet skiing adventure. Cove beamed, pumping the air with both fists. Definitely the action of someone mature enough to rent a vehicle. Alright. Yes, slurp. Within a moment, Cove had recovered and returned to a serious expression from before. I'll be careful, and I really want you to be there when I try again. Please. His voice was soft and earnest. You could tell how much the request meant to him. You also knew him enough to know that he wasn't going to give up on this idea. Letting him go on his own wasn't an option. Of course I'll be there, I wouldn't miss it. I actually love jet skiing. Cove perked up at once, a grin stretching wide across his face. He was practically bouncing in place. Let's go. You got up and worked as a team to gather everything needed for the trip. Cove's other aquatic hobbies came in handy, and he was quickly kitted out with everything he'd need other than the jet skis themselves. You needed to run back home briefly, having dressed and prepared for a day that didn't involve jet skiing, but soon enough you were both ready and jumping into Cove's car. As you got in, you learned that Cove had used the brief time apart to locate a rental store on his phone. You caught his eye as you clicked your seatbelts into place. Excited, you held out a hand. Cove slapped it in a high five before setting off. Do you have to wear helmets on a jet ski? Nope. You and Cove soon arrived. The ocean was perfectly inviting today. The deep blue of the water glittered under the clear sky while the tide rolled in and out at its leisure. I'm so excited for this. It's adorable! Seeing how pleased you were, Cove grinned at you.
Hey.
Oh, hey, want to say hi to my dad while we're here? I've already texted my mom about the plan. He's working right now. You remembered how close his shop was. It wouldn't take long, even by walking. You nodded, not minding the detour. Mr. Holden was a great guy, so you were happy to check in on him.
Sorry.
Thanks. Sorry, it might be kinda awkward when he hears why we're here, but it should be alright. I mean, my parents forgave me a long time ago for that amazing stunt. I don't want to be scared of jet skiing for my whole life because of it. You wondered which of you Cove was attempting to reassure. It was only a short walk back down to the dock to Mr. Holden's scuba shop. Cove breezed in, as familiar with the store as he was with his own home. The place was quiet, empty aside from a couple of customers quietly browsing and Cove's dad behind the counter. Mr. Holden looked up, his friendly expression spreading into a grin when he saw who had just entered. You're still scared of roller skating? Aw. If I ever come see you, we could try going roller skating. I can help you. Yeah, I'll bring Kolshi. Hi Jinx, hey Sport, what brings you all the way out here? He cast an eye at the way the two of you were dressed. Judging by how you're decked out, I'm guessing scuba diving. There's plenty here for that. What can I help you with? Cove chuckled, amused by how quickly his dad seized on a favorite topic. Or maybe it was how his dad always felt over himself trying to be useful. Hi Dad, we're not doing that this time. We sort of decided to go rent a couple of jet skis. The phrase jet skis had set Mr. Holden's mouth into a taut line immediately. Jet skis. He echoed the words as his eyes instinctively darted to the scar on Cove's arm. That's when Mr. Holden started to speak several times, each attempt quickly abandoned. Cove smiled encouragingly, trying not to add to his father's worries. I promise I'll be careful, and Jinx will be there too. We always look out for each other. Mr. Holden pinched his face back into an unconvincing smile.
Right.
Alright, you're a whole lot bigger now than you were back then. Heck, you can even drive a car and everything. I bought shoes from a drug dealer once. I don't know what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day. Welcome in, dog. I'm sure you and Jinx will have plenty of fun. You would consider it if your arthritis was doing better? Ah, got it. The worry still echoed out in his voice, barely concealed by the positive words, but Cove was buoyed by his father's support. Yeah, well, we're all set. We only stopped by to say hi and let you know since we were over here. Mr. Holden beamed, obviously moved by his son's simple consideration. Wow, you're so thoughtful. Thanks for taking the time. Dad, you don't need to thank me for that. Oh, hey, Kolshi. Mr. Holden simply laughed at his son's response. It'd be great if you could keep me in the loop while you're out there too. Just text me to let me know if it's going well or anything. I will. His dad smiled more easily. Great. Cove rubbed at his arm, causing Mr. Holden's eyes to momentarily twitch back to the childhood injury.
Bye.
We're gonna head out. See you later. Take care. Goodbye. Mr. Holden waved you off as you left the store. Okay. The pair of you headed back to the docks, walking side by side. After your feet hit the boards, Cove's pace fell. Glancing over, you saw him looking down, out over the water. That wouldn't have been unusual if his expression hadn't been so somber. You'll be lurking, you're making cabbage kimchi for the first time. Oh, dog, good luck. I love kimchi. Send me some. Ooh, good job, Civ. He wasn't geared up with anticipation or even nervousness, but with an uncharacteristic lethargy. Something was weighing heavy on his mind. You've never had kimchi? It's so good. If you like spicy, kind of sour stuff, it's good. Cove? Huh? He blinked, startled by you interrupting his rumination.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. He sighed. Though you'd torn his attention from the ocean, it gradually drifted back to the water. You cleared your throat, unwilling to lose him again. We can't find any Pokemon here. Oh my gosh. Dang. Junior, sir. That sucks. Ugh, I can send you some, Yara. I'll find them and send them. Somehow. Welcome in, Ballistic. Glad you're alive. Glad you're home. How are you? How was work? Yay! For Kolshi, 80 cents. He put his hands to his face, rubbing his eyes wearily. Here I go thinking everything's resolved with what's happened and we can have fun. But I can't just enjoy anything. I had to find something else to get stuck in my head. You're having second thoughts about jet skiing. No, that's not it. Your phone's fixed? Good. The ends of his lips were drawn into the beginning of a frown, like gray clouds clustering to signal a coming storm. It took 30 minutes? That's not bad. I figured my dad would be a little worried about me doing it, but what he was saying, it wasn't what I expected. He was so sad, it was more than nervous. I think he feels bad, and now I feel bad, but it isn't as if I'm the only one who ever does something stupid or gets hurt. It got me thinking about that whole time. That's when I realized it wasn't long after that incident that my parents separated. I'll stay quiet. Junior, sir. Oh my gosh. As a kid, I didn't think about the consequences of my actions, you know, or how what I did impacted other people. Like, why should anyone care? I'm the one doing it, not them. Kolshi, you can't take Civ's kimchi. It made no sense, and I still cared when other people did things I didn't like, but I was 8 and mostly just mad that nothing felt like it was in my control. He doesn't even like it. You could tell that he was building up to something, so you nodded for him to continue. I was pretty difficult to deal with because of that attitude, but looking back, I think that's what saved me from something a lot of kids go through. Blaming themselves for their parents' divorce. It never crossed my mind that anything I did made a difference on my mom and dad's relationship. They would do what they did no matter what. Now though, I guess it's kind of hard to ignore that thought though. You'll send it in a mason jar? Their situation was already so hard and I wasn't a good kid, so... He left his words adrift and looked down, the conclusion unfinished. It was silent between you. But only for a second. Cove pulled himself up to his full height, his chin held aloft. Whatever he'd decided, he was resolute. I'm going back. I've got to talk to my dad. I'm not gonna let things be like before where I just feel crappy and refuse to even tell him what's going on. That doesn't work for either of us. Cove, you can go ahead if you want. I won't mind. I still really want to do this and I'm sure it'll be okay. I want to stay with you. We always look out for each other, remember. Cove smiled gently, having wanted that deep down. Thanks, let's go. You and Cove retook your steps down the docks once more, headed back to Mr. Holden's scuba shop. I can't leave the man alone. I cannot. He's adorable. The customers you'd spotted in there before were now leaving the store, new bags clutched in their hands. You hoped that this would mean that Cove could have his conversation without a public audience. This time, Cove strode inside the shop with purpose. Mr. Holden, still at the counter, glanced up to greet whoever had come inside. He grinned as you approached. Hello again, forgot something. Sort of. Cove had reached the counter now. You'd needed to rush just to keep up with him as he crossed the show floor. Mr. Holden raised an eyebrow, taking in Cove's shift in attitude, and chose his next words with care. Is everything all right? Cove swallowed, not answering initially. Talking openly with his dad was still somewhat new for the son. You knew that he was struggling for the right way to begin. You wish you lived in walking distance to your job? I wish I did too. It's like a 15-minute drive for me, so it's not bad, but it's not walking distance. I wanted to ask about what happened. Mr. Holden winced as if the words had struck him physically. The accident? No, the divorce. Everything is in walking distance if you leave early enough. I mean, yeah. The pained expression fell from Mr. Holden's face. Wide-eyed, his jaw slack. He gaped at Cove. Huh? Why? Cove glanced over his shoulder at you. As your eyes met, you saw him draw confidence by having you by his side. He turned back to his father. You just started singing Dance Dance by Fall Out Boy? You're like 20 miles from your job? Oh no. Yeah, I don't think you can walk there. Cove glanced over his shoulder at you. As your eyes met, you saw him draw confidence by having you by his side. He turned back to his father. I want to know the truth. His tone was grave. Did me getting into the accident hurt your marriage? If I hadn't done it, would you and Mom have gotten along better? No, hell no. Mr. Holden quashed the suggestion with a gravity you'd rarely heard in his voice. You were 8 years old. You're not responsible in any way. Kira and I should have protected you. I can understand why you're feeling that. What happened was so horrible. How could it not have an impact? It did. It was a reflection of us as parents. The relationship between just your mom and me was separate and already unsalvageable. Cove turned away, his brow still furrowed as he looked at the floor. Maybe I'm being anxious and it's taking over, but it wasn't just then. I always caused problems. He plowed on, unwilling to give up without explaining his worries. What if I'd been easier to raise, or if you'd had me later on? Maybe even if you didn't have me at all, it might have been better for the two of you. If I didn't have you, then what good would my life be? I'm gonna cry. Mr. Holden didn't let the words hang unchallenged in the air for even a second. He hurried over to Cove, taking his son's arms in his hands. Junior. Sir. Cove, listen. There's only one person to blame for things not working, and that's me. Cove opened his mouth to speak, but Mr. Holden forced on, determined to erase any question in Cove's mind. You told me this was heavy? Yeah. I'm not saying this to dishonestly push accountability off from someone else or to throw a pity party for myself. You want to know the truth, so that's what I'm giving you. Your father's the reason our family couldn't stay together. You think you caused trouble? You should have seen me at your age. You're such a good kid. I can hardly believe how good you are. Junior's on the back lecturing Min about her spending habits. Yeah. Go, Junior. Junior, sir. Mr. Holden's eyes were misty as he squeezed his son's arms. There's nothing, absolutely nothing you need to blame yourself for. I'm sorry, Cove, to you and Akira. Hang on a minute, I think I'm gonna let Junior out of the room. We'll try that, we'll see if that works. Okay, I let Junior out of the room, so hopefully he calms down. Junior, please perform your best impression of a high dive off Mint's desk. Bonus points for knocking everything off the desk. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Junior oh my gosh, it was even worse after stream. He went crashing into a wall, he did other stuff, it was crazy. Okay, I'm sorry, Cove, to you and Akira. We didn't want that asshole. Well, too bad. Now you have him. Welcome in, Boring. How are you? Mom? Yeah, your mom. His pained face eased slightly into a bittersweet smile. This is not Lauren. Well, I didn't say Lauren. I said Boring. So you just outed yourself there. Kira, she was just so smart and driven and completely bursting with life. It was as if she could do anything. You know, there wasn't a single solitary person who didn't want even a piece of her attention, just to catch her eye for a moment. But for some crazy reason, she had a soft spot for my 17-year-old screw-up self. That's when we first met, though it definitely took some time before I managed to ask her out on a date. Mr. Holden shook his head, the smile melting as his recollection became solemn once more. Hello, not Lauren, I'm Civ. And then we'd only been officially together for about 6 months when we found out we were having a baby. I was so worried, so scared, but she was so brave. She was my rock, but we both knew the road ahead was going to be rockier. When we got married, I didn't see it as a dream come true. I wasn't about to start living my life the only way I could imagine doing so. I thought about what happened, and throwing my cards in with a girl like her was worth the risk. He grimaced, the sentence sour in his mouth, regretting his past perspective. I'd been taking care of myself on my own and getting by, then all of a sudden I was going to have a wife and a child. So I thought, alright, I'd better step up and take care of all of us, and that's what I did, sort of. He rolled his eyes. I made money, kept a roof over our heads, and put food on the table. All at 18? This happened when he was 18? Dang. But I was always busy, focused on taking care of things that I didn't stop to consider what anyone else was thinking or what they actually needed. I made every decision about what I did, and as a result, what happened to the family by myself, never asking what your mom felt or even wondering if she might have an opinion. I'd tell Kira about the great place I'd found and how we'd be moving there in the same breath. Or that I'd spent all our savings and taken out a loan to start this business we're standing in, and even more nonsense. Anything I felt I needed to do, I did. Kira couldn't even ask where I'd been all day without me rolling my eyes like she was being a nag. I was making sure we didn't starve, obviously, right? Couldn't she trust me? He sighed, his head hung low. She went to school part-time while raising you, really knuckling down, but that didn't matter to me back then. She could have spent her days lying in bed, not dying, and I would have felt the same. I didn't care, I was going to get it all done on my own either way. It's so stupid, I admired her more than anyone when there was nothing at stake, yet as soon as responsibilities were involved, I couldn't let myself rely on her. I want to hug him. He combed a hand through his hair, searching for an understanding of his own younger self. I'm not even sure why. Maybe I had something to prove. Maybe I'm the one who didn't trust her in the end. Mr. Holden is the definition of communication issues. He is, yeah. Did you put Alfredo in the spaghetti? Yes, there's Alfredo mixed in with the noodles. I did a layer of the meat sauce, like a thin layer on the bottom. Then I did the Alfredo noodles. Then I did the meat sauce on top, and then I topped it with Parmesan. So that's what it is. Okay. Poor Kira, she had to spend every day mentally weighing the pros and cons of putting up with my horrible ideas for the sake of peace or trying to explain to my blockheaded self what I was doing wrong. Cook for you? I would love to. Okay. It must have been so stressful and frustrating, constantly having to let everything go because I was stubborn and absolutely would make a fight out of it. He snorted bitterly. I was definitely stuck in my head a lot those days. Our relationship at that point was made of arguments and cool tolerance, but I still genuinely didn't see the divorce coming. You like baking treats on occasion? Yeah, that's tasty and fun. We'd made it through the first few years, and after that, I never really considered it ending. It was just how life was. In retrospect, it's clear Kira kept thinking on it more every year, especially because she managed to finish her journalism degree, and with us being more stable, financially that is. She thought of everything. She even timed it right when your school ended for the year, so the process would hopefully be all settled before you had to worry about class again. We were already talking about it before the accident ever happened. I know I took it really hard being a sad sack all around the neighborhood, but even that is unfair of me. When it shook out, I'm the one who got everything. Kira didn't want to leave you, Cove. She never would have. I'm certain she felt like she had no choice but to end the relationship. The business was doing really well by then, so I had an easier time making a living. She was between jobs, and when she did get a new job, it meant that she'd be traveling all the time. That's why she willingly accepted me having full custody. She didn't get to be there with her child for so many moments, and you had to spend half of your life growing up without your mother, and it's my fault. Mr. Holden closed his eyes briefly as he took a breath. So that's it, the story of Cliff and Kira's marriage, not exactly a fairy tale, but I want to be clear. You saw his grip on Cove's arms tighten. No matter what happened with me and her, I'd never ever want to miss out on being your dad. Kira got the short end of the stick. Yeah, she did. Kira. Oh my gosh. Cove's throat bobbed as he swallowed. His eyes glistened, glossy with tears that had yet to fall. He blinked quickly, trying to hold them back. Thank you for telling me. His voice was hoarse, little more than a whisper. Mr. Holden brought a hand up to his face and lightly nudged Cove's chin. You're welcome. You're a grown-up now, right? You deserve the truth. That's the least I can do for you. Cove managed a fragile smile. Thank you for taking care of me, for all of it. Mr. Holden brushed the compliment off with a wave of his hand.
No worries.
It was nothing. Look at where we ended up. I've got this whole entire store, a house, friends here, a very thoughtful son. It's all good for me. I'm glad. His voice was still quiet, and he ducked his head shyly after saying the words. Mr. Holden patted him on the back. You could see the tears in Cove's eyes still shining, threatening to spill over. Mr. Holden put an arm around his shoulders, gently steering him towards the door. You should go have fun, make some nice memories. Cove's gaze flicked over to you, the watery smile on his face solidified. All right. Good, now out you go. Mr. Holden nudged the two of you out the shop. You both walked silently as you made your return to the docks. Cove's face was pensive, clearly still digesting everything his dad said. He finally sighed, catching your attention. He hesitantly reached for the bag he had brought and raised it up. Jinx, I want to call my mom. Aww. I'm not gonna leave her out of things, and I want to know what she thinks about what happened and all of that. He fiddled with the straps of his bag. It still remained closed shut. It's not like I don't trust Dad, it's just Mom's thoughts are important too. Yeah. You only knew why Cove needed to talk to both parents for this. His dad could only tell one side of the story. You gave Cove a quick nod of approval and he returned a soft smile. He seemed relieved that you understood. You knew he didn't want to be a bother with another delay. Thanks, then I guess there's no time like the present, time to ask. With that mini pep talk, he finally opened his bag and found his phone. Cove unlocked it quickly and tapped over to his favorite contacts. He called up his mom and put the phone on speaker as it dialed. Kira must have had her phone close because she answered almost immediately. Cove, this is a pleasant surprise. I thought you'd be getting back to me later. She looks so good! I haven't seen her since she visited. Hey, Mom. He paused for a second and then looked at you. She is! You're on speakerphone with Jinx, too. Hello. Oh, hello. I'm popular today. Well, what's going on? Don't keep me in suspense. Are you a pro jet skier already? Hello, Kira. Cove chuckled and scratched the back of his head. We haven't started yet. Actually, there's something I kind of wanted to ask you about. You had to do that like emote. That is one of my favorite emotes. Out of all of Yara's emotes, that is my favorite one. I use it constantly. I'm literally gonna set like an alarm tomorrow so I can wake up, join her stream and get that emote again. Because I need it. I need it back. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Civ. Thank you for making that beautiful emote even larger. Really? I'm intrigued. Her voice was bright and excited. Cove moved the phone closer to his face so he could speak softly, aware that the tone of this conversation was about to change. I was talking to Dad earlier. It was about your relationship and why you both divorced. Buffering? Is it? I hope not. It's not showing that it is for me. It did for just a second. Okay. Okay. It's not now. Okay. Ah. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. Welcome in. I looked at my screen and I'm like, oh wait, it hasn't updated, but I heard the thing go off. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. That one syllable had lost all her earlier energy. Cove tightened his grip on his phone. Welcome in. Is it Noli? It does make sense that the past would come up today. Yeah, but he tried to brighten up the mood again. You weren't used to him being the perky one of the two. You could only imagine it felt like a strange role reversal for him. Dad said you were really amazing. He admired you a lot. What a flatterer. She sighed wistfully and you could hear some interference. Maybe she had shaken her head and you couldn't tell for sure. Oh, Cliff. He bungled himself through regular, everyday adulting and social situations in astoundingly charming ways. Yet, somehow at the exact same time, he was an ambitious, slightly shady, under-the-table type of man when it came to making his living in the world. This is, yes, it's the DLC in Step 3. Thank you, Fire. Yes, it's Step 3, the DLC. This is called Reflection, I think. So essentially your father was an absolute heartthrob for someone such as myself. Yeah, thank you. Cove and Kira laughed delicately. The tension was broken into something lighter, more familiar between the two. It's cool you both have nice things to say about each other. I agree, baby. She took a moment before continuing carefully. Do you have questions about what happened? I'm not sure. Cove squinted at the phone in his hand as he tried to think, his free hand brushing through his hair. You know you're on top of it in chat? Yes. I just kind of wanted to know how you described what it was like. Could I tell you what Dad said about it? Alright. I don't think Cliff would mind. Whatever he told you is probably what he'd say to me. Alright, go for it. After taking a breath, Cove recapped Cliff's experience, doing his best to follow his dad's story. He went into a surprising amount of detail and not a single thing was missed. Kira listened on in absolute silence, letting her son speak without interruption. When Cove finished, he took another deep inhale of air. So, what do you think? Kira sighed softly. You heard a clacking noise like she was drumming her nails on the back of her phone or on a countertop. That definitely sounds like Clifford. It's not exactly wrong, but he doesn't have a total picture. He puts the emphasis on the wrong places, I think. What do you mean? For starters, Cliff unsurprisingly downplayed himself more than he had to. You want Panera bread so bad right now? You literally work at Panera. You can just get Panera when you're at work. He did? Cove's eyebrows raised and his face continued to inch even closer to the screen. Well, since your dad was praising of me, it's only fair to return the favor. When Cliff said he was already taking care of himself when he met me, he means he was on his own. Cliff's own parents weren't and still aren't friendly people. They've always had a combative relationship, though him getting into drinking and gambling as a teenager certainly didn't help. He knew they'd kick him out at 18, so he saved them the trouble and left home at 17. He always found a way to make it work, even without support. I met him a few months after that. We hit it off right away. He was exactly what I wanted back then. We dated, and then about half a year later, bam, you were on the way, Cove. She laughed fondly as Cove clung to every Clove? Clove? As Cove clung to every word. I was really optimistic about it all. I couldn't wait to be a mother, and I was more than happy that Cliff was the father who'd be along for the ride. Clove holder. You need to reload for a sec? Okay. We got married quick before you were born. Cliff's recollection of our wedding dynamic is pretty spot on. He was extremely stubborn and just, well, immature. Highly, highly immature. Her voice raised slightly, and you got the feeling that she was thinking back to her memories living with him. She left the specifics unspoken. But it's not like I was grown up either. Everyone except maybe Cliff could see our relationship was no good, or at least not enough yet to commit to. I knew, but I didn't want to give it up. I wanted to keep the family together. I thought that if we divorced or were never together, then we'd ruin your life, Cove. Obviously, that wasn't true. I just didn't have enough experience at the time to realize that there wasn't only one option for us. Maybe things would have been easier on you if we'd split when you were still a baby, but it took me years to start figuring it all out. Cove nodded even if his mom couldn't see it, thinking hard about something. He was likely remembering his own experiences back then. We were married but never seriously loved each other. We hardly knew each other. I don't mind that Cliff never viewed marrying me as some kind of dream come true. I honestly just appreciate that he tried giving my hastily made life plan a shot. You have such a strange song stuck in your head. What song? I was the one who proposed after all, got down on one knee and everything. What? Wow. She huffed slightly, something between a chuckle and a sigh. It's very funny and a little sad that Cliff still doesn't know why things changed between us. It's obvious to me, and I'd guess he does know deep down. He just never consciously made the connection. You like to eat apples and bananas? I'm not even mad he didn't stay the same towards me. Love makes everything different. But you said, I know what I said. She interrupted before Cove could even finish his blurted out interjection. I don't mean Cliff and I, we were just two kids in a relationship that only ever worked when it was at its easiest. And then you were born, little Cove James Holden. I loved you immediately, and so did your father. Cove was stunned. His eyes started watering as his mouth clamped shut. The inclination we had towards each other had paled in the face of that. Our love to you was the real deal. Cliff was the proudest papa. Then in true Cove fashion, tears began to fall. He stayed silent, but you were pretty sure Kira knew the effect her words had on her son. Oh my gosh. November 2nd, 1997. Is that when he was born? Do we have the same birthday month? Oh my god, we have the same birthday month. No matter how much time passed, Cliff never got over how amazing it was that such a precious little boy was his. I should have taken pictures of how he'd puff up whenever someone referred to you as his son. She sounded much cheerier now. A slight smile crept onto Cove's face despite his tears. Then again, he still does that now. It wasn't hard to imagine Mr. Holden lighting up around baby Cove the same way he did with 18-year-old Cove. Add in 50 seconds. He's older than you by 4 years. I remember how when a real argument started brewing, Cliff had a habit of walking away to cool off. He wasn't able to handle it. His son seems to have taken after him in that way. He's younger than you by a few months. You heard her chuckle and Cove looked down, a blush clear on his cheeks. You could just feel her smirk through the phone. She breezed over the next section airily. For our whole relationship, he always ended fights by skipping out on me for who knows how long. I don't think even Cliff knew when he'd come back. You were born 96? Does Civ not know when he was born? That stopped when you were born. Cliff stopped running. He was still gone a lot for work, and we still had fights, but he wouldn't leave. Instead, he'd go to your room, Cove. If you were asleep, he'd just sulk on the ground by your crib until you woke up. You want McDonald's? You need to make up your mind. If you were asleep, okay. Sometimes he'd pace the room while holding you or sit on the floor and rock you. He'd stay with you until one of us decided we were ready to talk again. Can you order food? Yeah. Yeah, I'll try and see if they call the gate. Taco Bell? FOD, yes, FOD. He'd stay with you until one of us decided we were ready to talk again. Taco Bell sounds fantastic. It does. Okay, I'm gonna pause until the ad break is over, just so nobody misses any of the story. Junior he's surprisingly not scratching at the door right now. Usually he'll sit there and scratch at the door, until I let him in, but he's not. He's actually like enjoying himself. Do you have a YouTube? I do. I don't post anything on there currently. I do need to start uploading VODs to YouTube. I just don't currently have anything on there. I think it's in here. It should be in there. Let me look. Yeah, my YouTube is on there. Okay, the ad should be over now. Okay, we didn't have a lot of furniture back then. That's part of the reason why Cliff was always hanging out on the floor. He really came to embrace it. When our relationship got bad enough that we didn't want to share a bed anymore, he always made sure I got to have the mattress. Will this be posted there? I can post it there. Yeah, I need to figure that out, but I will try and post it there. Double stacked tacos are your kryptonite. I haven't tried those. He instead set up a spot in the corner of the nursery just in case you needed anything through the night. The VOD should be available to watch though on Twitch if I don't get it up on YouTube, but it should be on Twitch for a little while. $1 beverages, aka slushies. I love slushies. You can upload straight from Twitch to YouTube. What? I gotta do that then. I gotta do that. He instead set up a spot in the corner of the nursery just in case you needed anything through the night. He gave you a more private space when you got bigger, but he still always made sure he could be there for you. You can help figure out postings to YouTube? Okay. There's still no denying whether Cliff understands or not. He made his choices without prioritizing me, but it wasn't that he suddenly hated me. To Cliff, I was only a wife on paper. In his mind, I was a cool girl he had dated and generally liked, nothing close to being the light of his life. All his blood, sweat, and tears weren't for himself or me or even the family unit. They were all completely and totally for his baby. Cole, she probably knows a better way. Probably. Meanwhile, I was doing the same, though in the opposite way. I did take us being married seriously. I was trying to force us together as a couple so we would be a complete family for our child. You felt like a fly on the wall of a very personal conversation. Cove didn't seem to notice when you looked over at him, his face a complicated patchwork of emotions. Eventually, I woke up and saw what I was doing. I realized it wasn't going to work, not like that. When I was ready for it, I talked to Cliff about separating and starting up the divorce process. He was shocked by it, and unfortunately, it wasn't too long after when you had your accident, Cove. Jinx, I don't know how much Cove really told you about it, but when he broke his arm, it terrified all of us. Cove could have died. Even back then, we knew he'd likely have a permanent scar he'd have to live with forever. Our parenting hurt our child, and he was the one who'd have to carry the repercussions. You were a bit taken aback to be referred to directly. You still felt a little out of place, and she'd seemed completely focused on her son. Cove grimaced, and the hand holding his phone shook. You didn't hear because an ad came up? Yes, I will post it on YouTube. I don't usually post stuff on YouTube, but I'm gonna start uploading VOD starting today because apparently it's easy. So yes, I will put it on YouTube. Kira continued as if she'd never paused. It was heartbreaking, and then on top of it all, we had to put you through your parents breaking up. Taking that back wasn't an option despite the timing. It takes like 2 clicks. Oh, does it? Fidge is cuddling you? Aw, Fidge! It felt like everything we had worked so hard for to make you happy was for nothing. I chose to believe we'd fix our lives from there, but to Cliff, it seemed hopeless. He failed his son. It was easier for me in some ways. I had my family to lean on. That made it feel less daunting, less impossible. Nova, fantastic timing. Fantastic timing. And thank you for that hydrate, Kolshi. Oh my god. Yeah, boring. I don't think you've seen that before. You can explain? Sure you can. Fidge is something in his eye. Thank you for the hydrate. I had my family to lean on. That made it feel less daunting, less impossible. Cliff had only ever really known being on his own by the happenstance of his birth and then by choice. When we broke up, he knew he was going to have to put back the pieces of what was left alone. I wanted to be there for him even after everything, but I was the one divorcing him. It was impossible. I never managed to be someone he truly relied on, and I had to remember that wasn't changing. As bleak as it felt at the time, Cliff still tried to not let any of that show to you, Cove. He did what he could to keep your spirits high about the move, your new house, the scar, everything. So that's why. Cove trailed off. He had misunderstood the impact his injury had on his parents. You were reminded of something that made more sense now. Why divorce? Just eat orange chicken? Exactly. Exactly. Mr. Holden had been so helpful with Cove's old Halloween costume because he didn't want Cove to be saddened by the scar. It was clear Cove was coming to the same realizations. Now with that all said, if Cliff was a completely perfect and wonderful guy, I wouldn't have left him. If it was even pretty good, I would have stayed. It was hard not to have custody. Sometimes I felt like I was a fun aunt rather than the mom I always wanted to be. I might have overcompensated a little at times because of that. She forced a laugh, but it had an uncomfortable edge to it. You could tell she was trying to blow off a very real anxiety of hers. Cove looked ready to say something, but his mom kept talking, kept moving forward. Still, it's not Cliff's fault alone that our relationship didn't work. We were always better as co-parents than spouses, but I knew in separating that it wasn't going to be even. And Cove? The only reason I could stand not being there for you all the time is because I knew that if the situation was reversed and I could have provided a more stable environment, Cliff would have done the same. Your dad would give up his house, his shop, even his right arm if it would guarantee that you were safe and happy. So as painful as it was, I was sure you'd be okay because you were still with someone who loved you more than anything else in the world. Cove lowered his head, tears falling to the ground. He tried to speak, it took him a few tries. Thank you for telling me. His voice cracked, and Kira made an alarmed sound on the other end of the line. I'm sorry, baby, I didn't mean to make you cry. It's okay. He was still crying, everyone could tell, being physically present or not. I love you, Mom. You've always been my mom, not some aunt, my mom. I love you too. Her tone was thick with emotion. She was at the edge of a voice break herself. Sid, I'm so lucky to be your mom. She started to sniffle openly. Don't feel bad for me with how it worked out. I promise that none of it was ever your fault, and it's not as though I'm completely miserable over here. I have an incredible life with a beautiful baby boy of my own who calls whenever he can. At that, Cove's tears only came down heavier. Thank you. Kira sighed affectionately, and you could hear the warmth in her voice. I think that's good for now. Maybe we should end the call, take a moment. Why is it letting people check in again? Unless you just now did your redemption. I thought you did earlier. You think dailies are broken? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Don't keep checking in. Oh gosh. Stop checking in. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. I'm fixing this now. I am fixing this now. Oh my gosh. Help, Twitch, help. Let me go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stop checking in. Stop it. Stop it. I can't. Oh no. Community. Where is it at? I forget where it's at. Oh gosh. I forget where this viewer rewards, right. Channel points. Okay. Channel points, please. Manage. Let's see here. Daily redeem. Edit. Oh gosh. I forget. Cooldowns and limits, yes. Oh wait. Okay. I think I fixed it. 44 times! 44! Oh dear God. dear. Did I miss any messages amongst all that? Oh no. It's fixed. You've been here for a while. Uh-huh. I can tell. 78 redeems. Oh no. Literally, oh my gosh, my entire activity feed is just chaos. I think that's good for now. Maybe we should end the call, take a moment. Welcome in, Echo. How are you? Quick, evacuate. They can't catch us if we spread out. Thank you for checking in, Trooper. Thank you for checking in. Thank you. I think that's good for now. Maybe we should end the call, take a moment. Is that really all right? He tightened his grip on his phone. You could see how emotionally exhausted he looked. Of course, we'll be in touch soon. For now, you'll only be able to keep thanking me or apologizing. Hey! Cove cried out defensively over the accusation, making his mom snicker. Cove cried out, okay. Bye and goodbye to you, Jinx. I'm glad you're there for my baby. Okay, goodbye. Bye, Mom. I love you. Love you too. Cove hung up. He let his hands drop to his side, his phone brushing the fabric of his wetsuit. His other hand went up to his face. He tried to wipe the tears from his eyes. His face was red and he struggled to put his phone back in his bag one-handed. You could tell he was getting worked up. He finally just used both of his hands and sealed his phone back into its normal place. Cove sniffled and then reached out for you. His hand trembled in your grasp and you squeezed back. He needed to feel your support. You want to go see your dad again? You don't know why, but you speak only in French. That's okay. We do use just English in chat though, just so you know. Let's see. You rushed back the way you came, feet pounding across the boards of the dock to return to the scuba shop for the third time. You reached his dad's store and Cove still wasn't slowing down. He pushed his way through the door at full speed. What's your relationship with Cove here? We're dating. We started dating, at the end of step 3. Fire. His hands released yours as he charged in. Step 2. Oh, step 2. Oh yeah, this is step 3. Oops. Yeah. The end of step 2. Thank you, Kolshi. Let's see. Mr. Holden had been walking around the middle of the store checking over things. Immediately he turned at the sound. What? Where's the fire? He froze when he got a look at Cove's face. He worriedly opened his mouth, probably to ask what was wrong, but then Cove launched himself at his father. You ordered the brook? Tasty. What are you doing? Step 3, Cove. Cove threw his arms around Mr. Holden's neck. He buried his face in his dad's shoulder and started to sob with deep, hitching breaths. Cliff clearly had no idea what was going on and his hands hovered awkwardly in the air. He looked at you for a brief second, hoping for understanding before turning all his attention on Cove. You'll silently eat your Doritos? I was literally eating Doritos, like, right before stream. Oh my god! Look at them! Can we please keep chat to just English, please? Thank you. Let's see here. What was I gonna do? Okay, if we can't keep chat to just English, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave if you can't just chat in just English. I understand your French. That's completely okay, but this is just an English chat only. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Where did that tab go? Yeah, we can't moderate in other languages. That's the reason for English only. Let's see here. I'm looking for something here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out how to... Yeah, you're welcome. I'm like, really? I can't. It's not letting me do it right now, so... You know what? This may be a mistake. No deleting Civ's messages. If they get deleted, I will read Civ's messages. You'll do your duty well. I'm sure you will. Okay, back to the game then. Your duty. He wrapped both his arms around Cove's back. Cove looked secure in his father's embrace, protected and safe. He wrapped both his arms around Cove's back. Okay, we just did that. It's okay, it'll be okay. Whatever it is, it's going to be okay. This may be a mistake. Cove kept crying. He inhaled deeply, his voice choking up when he tried to speak. You always tried to be there for me when I was growing up, and I was mean to you. I'm sorry. What? Mr. Holden was completely taken aback. He hadn't expected this to be the issue. You feel threatened? You don't have to apologize for that, bud. Kids are allowed to be mad at their parents. It's my job to take care of you. I really didn't do anything special. At least you have help now? Yeah. I don't want to overwhelm Kolshi, which is why I didn't do it before. But yeah, dog is now an endangered species. You can ban in 2 seconds or less. Nice. Good. Good to have. It's my job to take care of you. I really didn't do anything special. This may be a mistake. Cove shook his head as empathetically as he could while still tucked against his dad. You've unleashed Kolshi upon us all. Apparently I have. You've always supported me no matter what. You've always loved me. I wish I realized how much you did sooner. Weirdo had to interrupt this very deep moment. Yeah. I'm like, literally, how do I address this? I don't like being mean. I don't like just banning people right off the bat. So, yeah. I just need to get better at it. Just be like, listen, if you can't listen to the rules, you just gotta go. I'm sorry. You don't think Kolshi's that bad? Kolshi will delete Civ's messages though. Your customer service voice came out literally. Literally. I'm like, oh god. What do I do? They're just, no. You've had easily 30 plus messages deleted. Cove squeezed him tighter. Thank you, I love you, Dad. At his son's heartfelt confession, the father became choked up as well. He compressed Cove into a crushing hug. Kolshi's the most cutest mod, bestest mod? Yes. I now have 2 mods. Wow. Wow. Also, this also may be a mistake. While we're at it here. No, what you said earlier. You're not chopped liver. No. Let's see. There we go. Fire, you're the sweetest, most adorable mod. Yes. My mods are great. Everyone here is the best. Yes. At his son's heartfelt confession, the father became choked up as well. He compressed Cove into a crushing hug. Yes! I do love you. I always will. You can count on that. I want to be there for you too. They clung onto one another, absorbed in the moment. Then after a little while longer, they slowly began to loosen their hold. You're the worst mod? I doubt that you are the worst mod. You'd be great, Yara. They clung onto one another, absorbed in the moment. Then after a little while longer, they slowly began to loosen their hold. Yara is great. Cove sniffled and moved so he could use his palm to wipe away his tears. His dad's shirt was visibly damp where his face had been. Cliff patted the top of Cove's shoulders. He looked at his son with pride. You've grown up so much. Now stop before my hat doesn't fit from my head swelling. Cove started to laugh through his tears, a wavering smile on his lips. Not lip. He has one lip apparently. You doubted that Cove would have ever thought that crying on his dad's shoulder was a sign of maturity, but it was true. Yara is very pretty. Yes, his singular lip. He literally just has one. Cove had changed over the years. Let's see. I'd be glad to see Cove grow. Yeah. Cove used to cry a lot over his parents, and he still did. Despite the similarity, the defining Coveness, there was a big difference between the two occasions. Let me make sure I haven't missed... Yeah, I haven't. Okay. You were proud of him. You want to delete that, but you shall not. No deleting it, because you are pretty. I'm gonna showcase how pretty you are. Let me get this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's the emote? There it is. As you can see, Kolshi is beautiful. Kolshi is beautiful. Oh, I love that emote wall. Let's focus on Cove. Everyone spam your Kolshis, please. Yes. Spam Kolshi. Cove wiped his eyes again. You're a good dad. You're a good son. Mr. Holden was plainly touched by the words and beamed at his beloved child. Cove looked away and shyly traced his scar. Cliff chuckled and released Cove to rub the back of his neck. The earlier panic had bled off and left the confusion. You're deleting it? Mint doesn't have a picture of me? Yeah. I'm just gonna start pulling up pictures of everyone. Let's see. I'm glad we had this talk, but what was it that made you cry in the first place? You weren't too bad off when you left before. Welcome in, Lorne! How are you? You'll now delete all your VODs? No! Oh, Cove ducked his head further down, getting a very good look at the scuff marks on the floor. I called Mom. I wanted to talk to her about all of this. He kicked one of his feet shyly, swinging it back and forth against the ground. Things felt really hard when I was younger, but it wasn't just me going through stuff, Dad. You never give yourself credit. Cliff smiled gently and gripped Cove's shoulders with reassurance. Oh. Kira is an amazing person to come to my defense. For me, the only hard part was seeing you and her unhappy. Everything else, that was nothing. You're gonna be lurking? Okay, go make yourself some good tasty food. Tasty food. He wrapped an arm around Cove's neck for another side hug. Cove leaned into the embrace and glanced up at his dad. Your old man is tougher than he looks. Check out how powerful these arms are. And this is 10 years on. I was in my prime those days. Cove laughed. It was a light sound full of fondness. Okay. He quieted down a little, finding a quick moment of seriousness. Thanks again, Dad. I know you don't want me to feel bad, and I'm happy because of everything you and Mom did. I have a really nice life. Mr. Holden's countenance became much more serious. He didn't take what was said lightly. Cove, you're very welcome. That's so good to hear. Then he let Cove go again. This time they both took a step back to their normal proximity. Mr. Holden cleared his throat. He looked at you right in the eyes. I also appreciate that you were here for support, Jinx. What a loyal partner. Cove looked back down, embarrassed. Let's see. I want to be there for you too. Cove's dad broke into nervous laughter, but he couldn't keep in. Well, thanks, but you don't need to worry about me. I do worry about you, and I will worry about you. What did Kira say? You know what? Don't answer that. I'm not sure I want to hear. Just, that's thoughtful of you. Cliff smiled warmly. He nudged Cove gently as if to say, look how lucky you are. Hey, maybe I ought to give you another $20 for all this. You've put up with a lot over the years. Cove's cheeks puffed up into a pout. No. Let's see. I could use some money. Not this again. You suddenly remembered how weird it was the first time. It really didn't need to be repeated. Okay, I'll leave making jokes about that to Cove. $20 for all that? You don't have a job, so money is money. Cove smiled satisfied at that. All right. Cove exhaled slowly, his posture relaxing. We better get going. You still have work. Dad and I think Jinx has been patient enough. Cliff grinned and waved the two of you off. Sure thing. I'm happy you both stopped in, but you gotta go have some fun. Be careful out there. I don't need to go jet skiing anymore, Jinx. If you still want to go, I don't mind watching. No way. You are a mature young man, and if you want to jet ski, then you should go out and jet ski. I'll still be here if you need anything, right? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Take care of yourself. Cove waved to his dad and he started walking out. You followed. When you turned back to Mr. Holden before you went out the door, he was waving. Bye, kids. You'll do great. Once again, as had become today's habit, you and Cove walked down to the dock side by side. But this time, Cove had a bounce back in his step. His smile was soft but radiant. Thanks for staying and sorry for how long it took. Let's see. You'd do the same for me. You had his back and he had yours. It was just how things went between the two of you. He sidestepped to lean in closer to you and wrapped his arms around you. You relaxed into his embrace as he held you tightly. You hugged him back. You could smell the scent of the ocean, of the breeze, and feel the warmth of his chest. He exhaled and took a step back, his face a dazzling smile. The water lapped at the dock beneath your feet. Cove looked down when a particularly strong wave crashed against it. Thank you for that, Civ. Oh my gosh. Ah, beautiful man. Thank you for the hydrate, Kolshi. Tasty water. It's weird to think about my parents' relationship. There's all this stuff that I don't know because I wasn't there, or because I was just a kid, or because I didn't even exist yet. You want your cheese fries? You got cheese fries? It feels really complicated. Water and not Alani? Yeah. I actually haven't had an Alani today. Be proud of me. I have not had a single Alani. You're thirsty too? Get some water. It feels really complicated. Let's see. Thank you for the hydrate again. Tasty water. Relationships are complicated. You agreed with him. Connections to other people were as varied as there were waves in the ocean. Okay, I gotta let Junior back in because he is crying now. Not the whale sounds. I'll be right back. I'm back. No, you can't spam redeems. I fixed that. Junior's back in the room. You love how I sing tasty water. Tasty water. Thank you for the hydrate. Oh, I need oxygen first. Junior, sir, let me get that hydrate, because that one was not a hydrate. Okay, that was a proper hydrate. Mods, if we work together, we can drown Mint? No. No. Not allowed. Connections to other people were varied as there were waves in the ocean. Junior, sir, you're in the way. You're in the way, baby. Come here. Come here. Come here, sweet boy. Junior. Junior, sir. Come here. That's my mouse. Come here. Okay, you gotta go under. You gotta go under the arm. Go under here. Go under here. Junior, I got you. I got you. Bear with me, Junior. Come here. There we go. See? I won't drop you. Thank you for the hydrate, Civ. I will get that in just a moment. Junior is being a little baby, and he wants to be held. Junior. Adorable Junior. Mwah. Yeah. You're cute. You are. Okay, let's put you down now. I will get that hydrate now. Water! He looked out into the ocean wistfully for a moment before he shook it off. It's nice. I'm happy they were married, even if they didn't stay together in the end. That was nice to hear. He was feeling better. What do you think about marriage, Cove? Hey, could I ask something? Thank you for the hello there. I get to see beautiful baby no money. Beautiful man. Sure. It's personal. Jinx, how personal have I been today? And now I'm curious, ask me. Mint trying to get married. Listen. I would give up everything to marry Cove. Well, marriage, is that something that you'd be scared of because of everything that happened with your parents? Junior, move. Cove shook his head shyly. He didn't hesitate for a second. What about Caleb? I will marry Caleb as well. I'm gonna have multiple husbands. Mint has been trying to land a man since I've known her. Listen, I have terrible luck with men. Lads, yes. Love in deep space. Love in deep space indeed. Yes. Yes. We love Caleb here. Caleb is my husband. He's my love. We've already determined Mint doesn't know her reds from her green flags. Listen. Don't let Mint on a racetrack. You're not a gamer, but Mint tells you about the game. I do indeed. Cove shook his head shyly. He didn't hesitate for a second. No, surprisingly, I don't have issues about the idea of getting married someday. You looked at him, not bothering to hide your intrigue. He chuckled self-consciously at the reaction he got. I mean, don't get me wrong, trying to actually propose would be terrifying. I'm sure planning a whole wedding would be so hard, especially for me. But just the thought of having someone I loved, that I was married to, that I'd spend the rest of my life with, that doesn't scare me. All Civ knows is that you're marrying Caleb next week. Okay, I just let in Lauren's Dasher because they were at the gate. Don't let her fly a plane. You're marrying Silas next week? Nice. It makes me happy to think about. The both of you snuck smiles at each other. You'll die alone. You will not! That's not gonna happen. You will find someone. Mint also claims her favorite color is green. It is! Okay, everyone in chat is going to find someone if you're saying you're gonna die alone. It's not happening. Everyone will find someone. I'll send Kira your way, Lauren. You're marrying Zane? Ooh, Zane's a good choice. Good choice. I mean, they're all good choices, honestly. What about you? Would you ever want to be officially married someday? Where it is. Where is it? Yes, I really want that. It was a bit of a dream for you. Oh, he's blushing. No, you will not fire. You are not gonna die alone. He quickly decided to change the subject after that admission. All right, no more distractions. Let's go. It's time to jet ski. You nodded with a smile. The two of you began to more quickly make your way across the boards. Despite your excitement, you were both careful. Min is gonna be my daughter-in-law. Apparently I will be. Neither of you wanted an accident, especially after what happened with Cove's first jet skiing trip. You finally got to the rental place. You were surprised at how easy the process was. It took no time at all for Cove to climb onto his jet ski with shaky legs. I'm gonna get my own too. You'd spent this entire time wanting to jet ski and were thrilled to finally climb onto one. It was lime green with blue detailing. The jet ski rocked slightly as you got on, bobbing with the waves. You looked across to Cove. He sat motionlessly astride his jet ski, preparing himself to start it up. Even from your distance, you could tell his hands were clamped onto the handles too tightly. He was stiff and nervous. Junior, sir, come here. Come here, sir. If something... Okay, Junior, if something happens between you and your husband, you'll probably be alone forever. Yeah, If I got married and something happened, I probably wouldn't remarry. That's probably, yeah. Even from your distance, you could tell his, okay. Let's see here. You got the accounting and taxes covered? It'll be all right, Cove. Trust yourself. He took a deep breath. You could see the rise and fall of his chest.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jinx. He inhaled slowly and started up the jet ski. It roared forward, and you were surprised you could hear him squeak over the sound of the engine. He stopped after a few seconds and breathed again. After he'd calmed down, he started it up once more. Cove sputtered and stalled with it for a while, going a little farther each time. He grew more comfortable with the feel. Cove eventually reached the point where he only stopped the jet ski when he had something to say. He kept shouting things at you. This is amazing. Did you see that, Jinx? This is so great. You had gotten your own jet ski going as well. You made sure to keep a safe distance. Cove watched what you did with enthusiasm. Kolshi. Nice turn. He zoomed forward and you could hear his bright laugh ring across the waves. You were relieved he'd taken to it so well. You had no trouble controlling the machine yourself and enjoyed the freedom it offered. You sped around the ocean with a wide smile on your face. Eventually the sun set and you had to pack up. Cove was thankfully still in one piece, no cast necessary. After everything was returned, Cove dug his phone out of his bag and texted his parents to let them know all about his triumph. An idea to take a photo to mark the occasion struck Cove, and he wanted you to join him in the selfie. Let's see. I'll just smile. You both grinned as he took the picture. It was a nice shot with the ocean stretching behind you. You knew Kolshi's reaction would be funny. His phone vibrated after only a moment after texting it out. Mr. Holden and Kira had likely been waiting the entire day to find out how this outing would go. And with the news of his success, both of Cove's parents sent back how proud they were of Cove for how far he'd come. Watching him grinning in the setting sun after facing so many fears that day, you felt the same. You got schooled. So we've got late shift, charity, and drive left. If we've got like 9 minutes left to stream, so we probably don't have time for another one. So I'm gonna save here. But yeah, we've got 3. Late shift, we will pick that back up next stream probably. I try not to go over 2 to 3 hours, and I've got some stuff I want to get done today. So I'm gonna wrap up around the 2-hour mark. Let's see here. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna end the game there. Switch over to chatting. Let me get my music pulled up again. Now it's too loud for me. Still too loud. I like to be able to hear myself, so I make sure I don't sound like crazy. Yes, Yara. I'm making a new playlist, and I knew this was literally like the first song that I'm like, this has to go on there. Like, this song is so good. Anyways, as for stream next weekend, I gotta figure out my schedule, so I will probably be out of town for most of next weekend. So I'm likely, let me see here. What days will I stream? So I'll probably be gone. I'll be gone Thursday. I'll be gone Friday. I will probably be back on Saturday. We need Cove. Will you be in Hawaii? I will not. I'm going to be in Arkansas. Thank you for watching, though. Close to you? Yeah, close to Yara. Arkansas? Yeah, exactly. Nova territory? Yeah, I'm gonna be in Arkansas. But yeah, I will be gone the 3rd, the 4th. I will maybe be back the 5th. Maybe. I will at least stream the 6th if I don't stream the 5th. But I will actually, I'm gonna probably stream the 5th and the 6th just to make up for it. So I will stream the 5th and the 6th, and then yeah, I will post my schedule. But yeah, I'm gonna be in Arkansas. So I will not be streaming the 3rd or the 4th. But yeah, what does everyone have planned for the 4th? Is anyone doing anything fun? You were in Arkansas today? What were you doing in Arkansas? You just moved though, Lauren. Reading books, fun. They're outrageous today. Yeah. Yes, stay inside. Yeah. Shopping. Ooh, fun. Going to probably blow yourself up with fireworks. No blowing yourself up. Not allowed. Putting on your noise canceling headphones. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let me see. Is anyone live right now? I don't think so. You know, like loud? Yeah, I get that. Do I still have it open in another tab? I do, actually. Maybe? Twitch. Is anyone live? No. No one is live. What about blowing up? Civ. Set it up and shoot it with your rifle. Mystic Fire? Ooh, let me look. Skies 101 is live. Ooh. You right. Let me... Ooh, I know where I need to go, I think. I'm typing that wrong. Who is live? Ooh, okay. Mystic Fires is live and Skies 101 is live. Let's see. Mystic Fires. Let me look here. Elden Ring. Ooh. It's playing a freaking ad again. One of these days, if you ever give it and start streaming, you'll go live at the end of my streams. Yes. Buffering right at the end. No! Is it? You thought it was just you? Is it buffering? It shows it's not for me. Ooh, Elden Ring or 3-year streamiversary? Let's see. Let's go with Mystic Fires. Let's do that. Better now, just a delay. Okay. Let me go ahead and set up the raid. Why do I have it? Okay. Let's see here. Raid. We are going to raid Mystic Fires. Okay. Did I do this right? I think I did this right. Okay. Thanks for stream. Yeah. Yeah, you're very welcome. I will see you all next time. And I will let you know whenever I'm able to go live again next. But yeah, I will see you all next time. I don't know when it's gonna raid out here in a minute, but it should. Oh wait, it looks like, yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Okay, will it? Bye-bye.